Welcome to session 11. Today we're going to draw Sonic the Hedgehog. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a large circle shape in the center of my paper. And then I'm also going to make a smaller circle shape overlapping the larger circle. Okay, so now I'm going to make the bottom portion of his face. So I'm going to make a curved line around and down and then meet it on this side of his face. And from here we can make his nose. So we're going to put his nose right here. Kind of an oval shape, sideways oval shape. And then from the top of this curved line, I'm going to make his shape for his eyes. So I'm going to come up and around and then slant it back in. About to the beginning of his nose here, and back up, diagonally out, and then meet it at the other side of his face right here. All right, so at this point here, we can make his eyes. So I'm going to make one oval here, and then this oval here is going to be a lot larger, appearing a lot closer to us. So again, that's going to be another oval shape right here. And we can also indicate some highlights. So I'm going to put a curved line in there and a curved line in here, and also a curved line, an oval shape here in his nose. Also, here's a curved line for his mouth. Starting from here, it's kind of right below where his eye would be. And just bring it up, curved line, and then I'm going to indicate the edge of his mouth like that. All right, let's work on his ear. So his ear is going to be about here, above his if I make an imaginary diagonal line up and then draw a curved line here, and then I'm going to bring diagonal line, curved line up, and then back in, kind of like a leaf or a triangle shape, and one around it, a little larger. And then we'll work on his ear on this side. It's going to be, again, appear much smaller in size. It's further away from us, so it's a curved line up and out, and then meeting it back at his head. And then I'm going to show his ear being dimensional, so kind of the other side of his ear. So I'm going to bring another curved line up and meet it there. All right, I'm going to work on this circle now. This is going to be for his hand. So I'm going to bring a curved line out from this side of the circle here, bring it out and around, and then back in. That's going to be for his thumb. And then I'm going to make 3 bump lines kind of above the circle here. So just slightly above the circle, 1, and then 2, and then this one's kind of smaller, and 3, and just kind of connects back into the circle. And then at the bottom of the circle here, I'm just going to loop it around. It's going to be a kind of another curved line all the way around and connect it back into the circle. Okay, let's make his arm here. So it's going to be kind of underneath the center of his hand, and we're just going to bring a curved line down and around, and another one on the side. And leave it open, leave it shorter than this one, because this one's going to wrap around and back into his body, like that. And now we can bring this one up, like that. So it looks like his arm is bending, and we have a little fold there. So now I'm going to bring his body up and around here. So I'm going to start here, bringing a curved line all the way around the center part for his body, and then bringing this curved line around here, bringing it down. All right, on this side of his body, we'll make the indication for his other arm. It's going to kind of just hang down along his side of his body on this side. Little curve here for his shoulder. And now we can make his hair on top. So I'm going to start just here on his ear, and then just bring this kind of curved back, almost following close to his head, but not exactly touching it, leaving some space. And then I'm going to kind of bring it up and around this ear to a point just kind of past his thumb, right there. So I go just past his thumb and then back in at a diagonal. And then another one out, just over the tip of his thumb, and then back in. And then we're going to make another one. We're going to leave a little space here and bring it down here, out, and then back in toward his arm. And we can actually, this part will be his body too. So we just kind of draw a curved line in there. And the rest of his body like that. so that's going to be the drawing portion. The drawing portion of Sonic. Now I'm going to start to outline, and then what I'm going to do is clean up the drawing after I outline. So outlining is really important, like I always say. It just shows us what lines we want to keep. I'm going to start with his hand here, because that's really in the foreground of the picture. I'm going to outline that, and the cuff of his glove, and his arm. And we're going to put a little shadow right under his glove there. All right, going to his head here, I'm going to draw that line there, and then his ear, and the inside of his ear. And I'm not going to outline this curved line through his ear, because we're going to clean that up there. And I'm going to outline, we'll leave a little indication there of the top of his head, but I'm not going to outline that either, because we're going to go back to his ear over here, and we're going to make this line the kind of the top of his head, the hair that comes all the way around. Okay, down to his body, and his arm on this side. And then his face. So here I'm not going to outline that because the hand is covering the face. I'm going to outline this part of his face and his nose. And his eyes, and then the shape for his eyes. And also indicate some fold lines for his head there, just a kind of an implied line that shows us where his head is, and then finish it off by bringing this line around. Okay, his mouth, and the bottom part of his face. Okay, since I have my black marker out, before I clean up the drawing, I'm just going to fill in the darker parts of Sonic, so his eyes, and then his nose. Make sure we're leaving that highlight on his nose there. Okay, now I'm going to just quickly clean the drawing up. I don't have too much to do here. What I want to do is just erase some lines that I don't need. So this line overlapping his hand here, because we want his hand to be on top. And this line around his ear. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's clean it off. And now I'm going to go into the color. I'm going to start with the lighter color, which is going to be the peach for his skin. So I'm going to start with his arm. And then his body. And his arm on this side. And his face here. Bottom part of his face around his mouth. And then the inside of his ear, I can see here. We can also do the inside here. Alright, so that's going to be all the peach color for Sonic, and the rest is going to be in blue. So I'm going to start with his hair. These markers are a little different today. It's kind of a different tip of the marker. This is called a brush pen, or a brush marker. Again, whatever you'd like to add color with is absolutely fine. Crayon works really nice for this. Pencil shading looks really nice as well on these. Just leaving it as pencil sometimes is one of my favorite things to do for a drawing. Whatever your preference is, whatever you you enjoy doing, however you like making art. So this was a suggestion from one of my students. He wanted to see Sonic, so I said, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to draw Sonic. I was a big Sonic fan when I was growing up. Sonic's been around for quite some time. I used to play it on a game console called Sega Genesis. And it was a lot of fun. Okay, so just kind of finishing up the blue sections here. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and give them a little bit of shadow by kind of going over some of the pieces again, some of the parts. Like that. And a little shadow in here. Alright, that's going to be the drawing for Sonic. Hope you guys enjoyed this one and give him a try. It's a lot of fun. Bye.